All right, folks, so even after splitting my colony into two new splits plus the original colony, I still had a swarm come out of that bottom brood chamber today. And they were flying around like crazy, but settled into a bush kind of right near my hive. And so I'm going to try to capture the swarm today, put them in a box, and hopefully add them into the apiary. And hope you enjoy this video, and appreciate any comments or advice that anybody who's done this in a different way can leave me that information. I've been doing this for a while, but I'm always learning. So hope you enjoy this. So I'm gonna shake these bees into here, and it's gonna cause them to
Get grumpy.
fly. I mean, a big chunk of them will fall.
So cool.
Are you ready?
Yeah. So is the queen in there?
Yeah, there's a queen in there somewhere.
That's why they're doing it.
It's like exactly where she is.
Yeah. Does the queen have to go in there before they'll, I mean, are you hoping to shake her in there, or?
I mean, that'd be nice, but it's kind of hard to know exactly where she's at.
Yeah.
If they end up on a big branch, you can just cut the branch off and put the branch in the box, but they're in this shrub.
So you have to cut through.
And there's actually wire in there. So
Oh,
the
God,
wire
yeah,
around
I
it,
see
so
that.
I can't, like...
Yeah. Huh.
So I think what I'm going to try to do...
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. What about that big netting? Like that frost cover?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I need them to just move into the box. And I think they will. So I ended up taking my wife's advice and not using the frost cover, but a sheet to kind of trap them in there. I just had to process that for a while, but that was a really good idea, and I think it helped kind of settle them down and make them feel secure. So they're right near the ground. Let's say it's about 18 inches long and maybe 6-8 inches wide. I'm going to try to move them into this box, but I just got to cut all this brush and wire and stuff out of the way so I have some access to be able to kind of move the cluster. So we'll see how it goes. Piece of wire. All right, folks, so I'll show you what I did here. I got I basically had to cut away a lot of the brush, and there was wire around this brush, so I had to cut through the wire to kind of isolate the cluster. And then I pushed a brood box up right up to the edge of the cluster, and I only had like maybe 6 frames in the brood box, so there's a lot of space for the bees to kind of fall in. And then you just kind of jolt the cluster real hard and just knock them in there. And I'll show you, basically most of the bees are in the box, and then I've kind of framed it up to kind of encourage them to move that way. And now really all I can do is just kind of wait, let them settle down, and go into the colony the rest of their way. And hopefully tonight I'll be able to slide the lid on and button them up, and I'll have my bees back. So I guess the lesson here is I split my colony. I made 2 big splits, and I maybe should have split that bottom one again, because wow, they really they may have already been raising queen cells before I did the split. And so maybe maybe I split too late, and they were already raising queen cells, and so when they hatched, they swarmed, because I didn't think there was enough bees left in that lower brood box to kind of really cause a swarm. But you know, I've only been doing this 20 years. I'm a rookie still. All right, guys. You can see like the cluster was on this big stick, and now most of them are down in the box. They're still kind of settling in, and then I've just got it kind of pinned in around. Like I got the big brood chamber, and then I got like a super, and I got these like escape screens to kind of act like a lid, and then I put a sheet over the bush just to kind of settle them down, make them feel safe in their space. And I feel pretty confident if I give them some time, when the sun sets, they're gonna settle into that space. You know, they'll settle into that box. Or I guess maybe I'll know tomorrow, but it's seeming like they're settling in. Like, and one thing you can note, like down here at the bottom, the brood box isn't even pushed all the way up against the bottom board. That's kind of good, because it allows the bees another space to get in there. So right now we basically moved them from a stick, knocked the cluster into the box, and now I just got to wait for them to settle. And that just takes time. There's nothing I can do now except just give them some space and let them chill out. So this box here, kind of with the entrance facing the camera, this is the one that they must have swarmed out of, because that's the only one that had a queen that was laying eggs. These other 2 did not have queens, so they wouldn't have swarmed. In this box, the main bottom brood chamber was the one that had all the bees. The top one I added after I split, and the bees had moved up there and were laying fresh eggs. So I have a feeling that original queen is probably down there in the bottom. I've got my 2 splits that I set up in part 1 and 2 of the video. They've got the fresh eggs. They should be rearing queens off those fresh eggs. And then now we've got a swarm capture. So we'll see how that goes. Won't know till tomorrow, but I basically had one really crazy strong colony, and now I've got hopefully 4 colonies. All right, so bottom board, brood chamber with only 6 frames. Got a honey super kind of turned perpendicular to the normal pattern, just because I wanted some extra space, but I wanted to create some depth to the colony. And then I put 3 escape screens kind of around the cluster to kind of just force the cluster towards the box. And then I threw the sheet over the top to kind of let the cluster feel secure in its space. So they should settle down, and I'll come back and check on them later. All right, and you can see the main cluster of bees is in there, hanging on to the bottom of the super. There's nothing on this big stick that they were on. So I'm gonna just let it go dark, and then I'm gonna slide that inner cover, take all this other stuff off. I'm gonna slide the inner cover over the super, put a real cover on it, slide that super to where it sits flat on the brood box, and I'll do that here after dinner. But tomorrow they'll just be waking up in that new hive and able to go out and hopefully start doing their thing. All right.